Hey guys, New York Gamer here, and today's video I'm at the Sittingbourne to Kemsley light railway today, so I'll be filming there for the whole day and for you guys to support me. And I'm almost to 100,000 subscribers, but I am literally so close to getting to 10k right now. But let's get up to 10k and hopefully to see some more crazy videos for you guys to watch back at home, and hopefully to see you in the next one. All right guys, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.
So we've got Superb, an 062 currently being worked on.
Yep.
She's been out of service for a few years now for her 10-year overhaul. Amelia here, she's awaiting a new boiler. The boiler has been manufactured,
Yep.
but we're just waiting for insurance sign-off on it before it can be delivered, and she will almost certainly be the next locomotive that will come back into service alongside our existing steam engine Premier that's running at the moment. This is a boiler off of, you can't see it much, down the end you've got an engine from the Welshbourne and Lanfair light railway, and she's being maintained here. So some of their, because they have volunteers around the southeast, rather than going up to Wales to work on their loco, the loco's here, and their volunteers can come here and work on the loco, which works out good for their volunteers, good for the loco, it gets worked on, so it's quite handy. We've got one of our diesels, very rarely used, Edward Lloyd.
Yep.
It does work. If you notice how close the wheels are to the middle, when she's going along, she does that. So she's okay here to shunt around the yard.
Yep.
But out on the main line, she would be too unstable. That there is our latest acquisition, an electric loco, which is ex-War Department. Only arrived about a week ago.
Yeah.
There's a bit of work done on it, obviously, painting and everything to bring her up to scratch, along with a lot of stuff here. But
Yep.
you know, a lot of what you see needs work, but we just don't have sufficient volunteers to actually do everything that needs to be done in a decent time frame. And we've got people working on this chassis here. This is coming along nicely, so you know, we've got people that have got the skills, but it's how much time they can actually devote to the railway, because you know, they've got their own lives to lead as well. So Victor, one of our diesels. We've got carriage and wagon. There's all like over there. That's where their work sheds are.
Yep.
The area back there is where the old museum used to be. There's about 3 or 4 sidings back there. The whole lot basically needs stripping out, redoing, and the aim eventually is to have some sheds down there to store carriages in over winter.
Yep.
Because obviously, you know, they're all pretty much wood apart from the bases, and they suffer because they haven't got any storage.
Yeah, because it's all the elements as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So
can you tell us what happened to the old museum there? Can you tell us about the old museum there?
I mean, that was like an old, you know, like these static homes.
Yep.
So that basically, it seen better days and we had to condemn it. So the new museum is the container that you see over there, the green one.
Yep.
Which is weatherproof, not better. So, yeah, that's it. I mean, there's a lot of work to be done down there, but it's when we get around to it, volunteer-wise.
Was it the elements that destroyed?
Yeah, basically. You know, it's
So all the insulation was exposed?
The roof mainly rusted away. And, you know,
letting all the water in. And,
yeah. So, but it'll be, you know, once it's done, it'll be much better. You know, if we get some storage down there for the wagons, carriages, it'll also give, you know, a place. I mean, they're working on this one here in the open air.
Because that one's going to rust as well. I can see right there, like right over there, I can see it's rust already.
Yeah. This is actually off smoke box come off of one of the engines.
Yep.
So that would be where the chimney would
Yep.
be. Smoke box door, and then your boiler.
Yeah.
There.
And it has like little pipes as well, doesn't it?
That's right. You can see the pipes. You see that?
Oh yeah, I can see this. Oh yeah, I can see, look, and there and there as well.
Those basically, this is your boiler.
Yep.
It's full of water. Your fire, this end. Fire basically, the heat travels through the tubes.
Yep.
A bit like switching a kettle on, really. You know, the element heats up.
Yep.
The tubes heat up, basically heating the water until eventually that starts to boil and create steam. There's not actually any tubes in this at the moment because they've been taken out to be replaced.
Yep.
Part of the other room. So, although that just looks like a honeycomb, eventually there will be tubes going through all of these holes. It's the same at the other end.
Oh yeah.
So that is work in progress.
So can you tell us about Triumph?
I can't tell you a lot about Triumph. I mean, she's one of our oldest locos.
So how old is Triumph? How old is?
I'm not sure. You probably need to speak to somebody from the engine shed.
Yes.
Some of the locos have got their dates on them.
Yeah.
I think Premier that is running today
Yeah.
is very early 1900s.
Okay.
But if you have a word with a loco, they will tell you for certain.
Yep.
Amelia, I think it was something like 1924, I think it was.
Right. Okay. Yep.
But I actually work out mostly on the tractor now, on
Oh, yeah.
sleep replacement, so I'm not so up on what goes on
Okay.
in there. You really need somebody from the local department.
So how old is the whole, like the whole railway, the whole thing?
This used to be, in the early days, basically Edward J. Lloyd, the paper mill. Now the paper mill was down in Sittingbourne,
Yep.
where Morrison's currently is. And then when they built the new mill, which is this one here, they built the railway to
right
run
there,
between the two paper mills.
Okay. Yeah.
They built the viaduct that goes into town.
Oh, goes into town over there. Yep.
That concrete viaduct, apparently, I believe, was the first reinforced concrete structure to be made, certainly in the southeast.
Yep. Go on. Carry on.
Yeah, so like, the viaduct is, the paper mill had that built. That cost us a lot of money, around about £10,000 a year.
£10,000 a year. That's impressive.
In maintenance. Yeah.
Oh, in maintenance.
In maintenance, yes, because it's what, 120 years old now.
120 years old.
Yeah, built very, very early 1900s.
Do you know the exact date that it was opened?
I think it was 1904, but I don't know for certain. It's probably in one of our brochures, the guidebook, so you could have a look in that.
Yeah.
Well, in its heyday, there was 22 miles of track. The railway used to extend from here down to Ridham Dock.
Okay.
And the reason for that was that in the early days, the wagons, the pulp wagons, used to go down to the quay down
Yeah.
where Sittingbourne Viaduct Station is. But as the estuary, the swell, became silted up, they extended the railway down to Ridham and built a dock down at Ridham. So that made it easier to bring the barges in, load, unload. And then Bowalters took over and they ceased train operations around about 1968.
Yeah.
It was handed to the Locomotive Club of Great Britain, who then, after some time, created the Sittingbourne and Kemsley Light Railway charity, which we are.
Yeah. And you can follow them on Facebook, guys. You can follow them. They're Sittingbourne to Kemsley Light Railway on Facebook.
Yep.
I'll link them in the description down below.
Yeah, check out sklr.net for
Yep.
other information.
And the YouTube channel as well. They got a YouTube channel as well. I'll put their YouTube channel in their description, in my description as well.
Okay, cool. But yeah, that's about
So what are them two trains there, like near the
it. Hang on a minute, I just
25? Yeah.
yeah,
So
we have to tell the CAF how many's coming in so they can prepare.
yeah. So can you tell us about these two trains that I'm looking at now? The
Right. So the one this side,
Yep.
Unique, she was basically a fireless loco.
yeah.
Hang on, I've got the right one. Basically, yes. So she was fireless because obviously
Yeah.
25. 25. Yeah. You don't want a steam engine with sparks coming out the chimney going around a paper mill.
Oh right, yeah, yeah.
So they used to fill her with like compressed steam, like say in the morning, and it would run on that for hours until it needed filling again. So
Yeah.
there's no risk of fire. She's a narrow gauge engine, same as everything else here. Number one, which is to the right, she's a standard gauge engine, just basically bought here for display. I'm not sure if she worked in the mill or not. There was originally a spur off of the Kemsley line
Yep.
that came into the mill, so they could get trains from the standard gauge railway into the mill.
Okay.
Now she may have been one of the locos, but don't quote me on that because I'm not entirely sure. So that's pretty much it. And we've been running the railway since we took over 1968. So yeah.
So obviously the railway, the actual railway itself is been around for 200 years. Is that right? Or is it more than that?
120-ish. About 120. Because
Okay.
like 1900, no, that night, well, I think 1904, I think, was when the viaduct was built.
Yep.
So probably round about then. Again, yeah.
Yeah. And the like the southeastern and the other trains, the other locomotives and stuff, they been around for like 200 years. Is that right?
Oh
Or?
yes, sorry, yeah. Yeah. So basically, the UK network, yes, it's celebrating its 200th anniversary this year.
That's
yes,
impressive. I'm
that
like, I
is-
can't believe it's been around for
I know.
like 200 years
Absolutely amazing.
maximum, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
That's pretty
Incredible.
impressive.
It is, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so no, I thought you meant this one, but no, this,
No, it's like
yeah,
the other ones.
the
here.
main railway network of the UK, 200 years this year.
Okay.
Amazing. Okay.
Right. So
Right.
thank you for your
Okay.
interview. That is really good, and I really
You're welcome.
appreciate it. And do you want to tell your name and then you can?
I'm Peter Hammond. I'm a volunteer here. I've been for I think about 10 years.
All right.
Something I'm passionate about.
Yep.
And if there's anybody out there and sees this and have got a similar passion and would love to volunteer, I'm sure you'd be
Yep.
more than welcome because there's an awful lot to do.
Yeah. All right. So.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you guys. Hey guys, New York Gamer here. So guys, thank you for supporting this channel and I really appreciate it. So guys, let's get to 10,000 subscribers and hopefully we can get to 100,000. So guys, thank you for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. All right guys, peace. Oh, look at that. That is really cool, isn't it?
Well, quite hot actually.
Yeah. You can actually see like how big the flames are.